Speaking of notorious, let's talk about two notorious guys from Miami. The second fight, the co-main event in this UFC 287 matchup. Two Miami guys, Jorge Masvidal versus Gilbert Burns. Both of these guys, I mean, they are both knockout kings. At some point, they were both in their careers. I mean, we could definitely speak about both of them, each one at a time, but they could both knock people out. You got to give it to him. Gilbert Burns has some of the biggest guns in the UFC. Pause, but he does. And Masvidal, definitely a guy that people love to watch. The most electrifying. I wouldn't say electrifying, but exciting for the fans. I mean, he does have the biggest contract. He's got the most Instagram followers other than like a guy like McGregor. But I mean, you got to give it to Masvidal. Like, even with his record that he set, he still had so many fans and people following him. What do you think about this fight? And just him too, and Masvidal.
Coming from the streets in Florida, and obviously going and growing up, not growing up, but fighting in those
street
platforms,
fights.
Yeah, like
never lost a fight in the streets.
I don't know if I want to call it companies. I guess all the platforms that Kimbo Slice and all them fighters came fighting from. I guess it was a company. But pretty much he got a nice reputation.
Wasn't that one? That was
one. No,
of them.
I'll be honest. I don't remember what it was called.
That was a Kimbo one, though. That was an old one.
Yeah, it was a Kimbo, and I haven't looked up those videos and probably since he died. Like, the last time I looked at those videos right after Kimbo died. So I don't remember what it's called, but he pretty much already had a reputation in Florida and just in the streets of being a fan favorite because everyone knew he was viral from those YouTube videos. So once he got into the UFC, he's always been one of those good names. And then once 2016 hit, 2019 it was, once he hit Ben Askren with that knee, all the hype really started. It seemed like he reached a new level. Then he fought Diaz for the BMF belt. That was a big hype. A lot of
crazy knockout.
A lot of pay-per-view. They had The Rock in there giving out the belt. So it was definitely, he had like a lot of hype to him. But I said from the get-go, he's always been a journeyman. I don't think I have picked him to win any fight that we've covered. And now, mind you, we've only been doing this for 2 full years now.
So he's probably had like 6, 7, 8 fights.
No, honestly, the last couple of years we've gotten a loss to Covington, 2 losses to Kamaru.
And we called all of those against him.
Yeah, we called all 3 of those. Burns on the other end, 8-2 in his last 10 fights, and pretty much the last 3 were great fights. Great battle against Wonder Boy. Did lose to Chimaev, but that was a fight of the year, and he showed that not only is he was up there, but he showed that Chimaev wasn't just
he wasn't a robot. He definitely showed that. He
showed some kinks in the armor.
Definitely did. I was just gonna say, I got to give him a lot of props for that fight because, I mean, nobody gave him a chance in that fight,
and nobody wanted to fight Chimaev.
Exactly.
A lot of people were not. I'll be honest. I don't want to say avoided because Chimaev do be lying. He be acting like everyone just be saying no to a fight. I don't want to hear that.
Yeah, but he was knocking people out in the first round.
He was not. So at that point, a lot of top contenders did not want to be that first fight. I can definitely at least say that. And Burns stepped up to the plate and gave him a hell of a 3 rounds. And then after that, he went in, pretty much made short work of Magny with the triangle choke in the first round. So you got to tell 2 fighters, one showing he can compete at a top level in the last 3 fights, and another one, I'll be honest, not looking too good in the last 3 fights, especially since the last 3 fights you had so much layover and lay off in between, especially after what happened with Covington and this whole debacle with the assault. So when it came to honestly judging this fight, I felt like it was just two fighters going in opposite directions. And it was just what really can they bring to the table and kind of what they have. So before I really go into my analysis, I want to hear what you think about these two fighters and kind of what they bring to the table at this point in their careers.
Yeah, I mean, you made some good points about Jorge Masvidal. I mean, he is a German. We could say that. Obviously, he is very exciting for people, and I know he is on his way out of the UFC. I mean, he's even said that this is possibly gonna be his last fight. We don't know that for sure. We don't know if he's retiring after this, but he's definitely had thoughts about it. Especially after losing the last three. I mean, he's not gonna be getting a title shot anytime soon if he loses this one. So he knows that this is like one of his last chances to actually keep his name relevant in the UFC still. He's still gonna get somewhat decent draws, but the UFC is gonna start giving him people that are gonna be coming up to just like that don't have a name yet and
Derek
that have
Lewis of the welterweight division.
yeah. I think that he's gonna start getting guys like and this happens in boxing a lot. Like some of the exciting guys that have names, they have to fight like these up and comers that have like undefeated records and they want to get their name up, so they fight a guy like like Jorge, and that's what might happen to Jorge if he doesn't retire, and if he doesn't win this fight. I really think that this is a chance for him to really show like if he still got some fire left in the tank. I mean, I definitely think that Gilbert Burns is definitely going to be the one that's going to be coming out hot because he's not the one that's talking.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, Masvidal is the one that's talking. You see it in like all these press conferences that have been happening before UFC 287. He's the one that's been like calling him out, saying all this stuff about his trainers and stuff, and he's actually the one that's really doing all the talking. Obviously, Burns likes to keep everything in the ring. He's even said that. He's like, I want to do my talking in the ring. I really want to just show what I got in the ring. And one thing about Burns is he's definitely worked, on a lot more of that stand-up MMA game and kickboxing. He's always been good with just straight-up boxing, but the actual kickboxing with his legs, he's worked on a lot more of that in this fight camp that he's had. And Masvidal, I do think that like the fights that he had to Kamaru Usman, even though he lost him the second fight, I think it was a little bit better showing. He showed that he can keep up at certain points, and he's gonna have to utilize some of what he learned there with a guy like Burns because they have similar body styles, Usman and Burns do. So I think that if he gets on the ground a little bit more with what Masvidal does, if that's what he does, it might help him in this fight a little bit more. Now, I mean, for Masvidal, like I said, he said if he loses, he's calling it quits. I don't know if that's where he's heading, but I do think that for him to win the way that he wins is he stays on the ground, keeps the fight with most of the control on the ground, and tries to find a way to like submit Gilbert Burns. One thing about Gilbert Burns is his legs are not as good when he's on the ground, when he doesn't have his positioning as well on the ground. He doesn't work like to get up with his legs. He uses mostly his elbows and his back to get himself away from the guy. He's not like a guy when he gets on a cage to really put his legs up on the cage and push himself off, from the bottom to try to get control. So I definitely think that, with Masvidal being the more electrifying fighter and him knowing that this is one of the last fights in his career, he's going to try to go out for that knockout. He's going to try to somehow, some way get a knockout. If it's a left spinning kick, if it's I don't know, a flying knee, he's going to try some things. With Burns, I do think he's going to take the tactical route. He's going to stay in there, try to pick his spots, and I definitely think he's going to use his legs more. I do think that you're going to see Gilbert Burns definitely taking care of business in the first few rounds of this fight, though. But who do you expect to win, like, most of the fight, like, especially the first few rounds? Who do you think is going to win first few rounds of this one? Because I think that's important in this one.
I'm a little thrown off. Cause you said so Masvidal definitely has a chance if he keeps the fight standing. Basically, his only chance is to avoid takedowns and avoid distance. And I actually think that Gilbert Burns is going to come out not only hot when it comes to just firing off, he's actually going to come out and be aggressive with the takedowns as well. We're talking about jiu-jitsu expert.
He is. He
This
is.
is in Masvidal's weakness is not only his wrestling, but it's his grappling. He has no ground game. He's just a boxer, basically decent kickboxer, but his skills are in his speed and his hands. Like all his skills lie within his hands. He doesn't even have that great of a defense. So like for me, I think Masvidal's path to victory is basically keep it standing at all costs, keep his distance, and try to outbox Gilbert Burns and pretty much hope for a knockout. Burns, on the other hand, I definitely think while I'll be honest, what I felt like we saw with Chimaev showed that even if Burns was to take this fight and keep it standing up, he still has the advantage. Because at the end of the day,
He's
while
got power.
Masvidal definitely can mix it up, Burns sat there and ate a lot of Chimaev's hits and was able to sit there and throw it right back. So I definitely do think that he knows he can keep the fight standing, but I'm a I'm literally a black belt in jiu-jitsu, so why would I? So he's gonna sit there, get some takedowns, really force the force the pressure, and I think honestly try to put either a punishment or some sort of submission. Like I don't think he wants this to go to decision. I think he really wants to just put a stamp on this and let everyone know he should be one of the next people next in line to get a shot for the belt. And
Yes,
we could
definitely. Yeah.
definitely talk about that order and who's getting shots after this fight because I definitely want to talk about that. But I definitely think that he's going to show that he can consistently provide some pressure. And now if that can translate to actually getting Masvidal off of his feet, threaten with some submissions, see what that can do, then we'll definitely see how that match goes. Um, so I'll be let's just see.
See, I could definitely see, Burns going for more takedowns. I do think that Masvidal's defense is going to be a little bit better here, even when he gets on the ground. I think he's going to try to get back up though quicker, keeping it on if he's the one that's on his back. He's definitely not going to try to get control and then go around to go on top of him. But there is a few times when Masvidal has been able to like get down with guys, and actually he's actually been pretty good. Like even, I mean, like I do think that a guy like Usman is similar to Burns in that fashion where when they're on the ground, you know, Usman is one of the one of the best, when he's on the ground. I'm not gonna lie. Like he's one of the best when he's up and one of the best when he's on the ground because I just like his fighting style. I do. Usman's one of my favorite. Just his fighting style is great. But I do think Masvidal has his strengths when he's on the ground, and one of those is definitely like his him being in like on his back or in side somebody got side control on him and he's able to like spin that around and get on top of them. That's one thing that Masvidal is very good at.
I definitely do think that they are pretty much going to be able to just not they, but Burns is pretty much going to be able to squeeze in an arm somewhere, maybe get a lock somewhere. If he can't really get that ground and pound going, and 100% get a submission in the second or third round. I think second because I think Burns really he just made Magny tap in the first round. I think
He did.
really wants to be aggressive, and he's gonna try to ragdoll Jorge Masvidal.
Wow. So you think it's gonna be a beatdown pretty much?
Yes, it is. I've said it from the get-go. Jorge Masvidal is nothing but an average journeyman. Don't
You
let
have.
his knockout win over Ben Askren fool you. He has never even come close to being a top 5 contender. He does not deserve to be fighting with the top 5 contenders. At the end of the day, he's just nothing but a big name. Anyone in that top 5 will destroy him, and Jorge is definitely about to get destroyed by Gilbert Burns.
Damn. I don't know, man. I don't know. I think Masvidal's coming in one more time. One of his last times being in the UFC.
Boy, he doesn't even have the skill set to do
He
this.
hasn't won in 3 years, I know, but not in 3 years, but 2 years. But
Derek Lewis get to keep fighting top contenders because he get someone with that hand that right hand is over. Jorge Masvidal, when was the last time he knocked
So
someone
here's the
with
thing,
his
though. Here's the thing, though. Like, look at the last three guys that Masvidal fought. Champion, and the guys that's about to fight a champion in Colby Covington.
And that's the
So
thing. They weren't even good fights. They weren't even close.
yeah, but
Any
these are
one of
guys
those
like
guys will run through Jorge Masvidal, and Gilbert Burns is about to run through Jorge Masvidal.
and you know what? You might be totally right because everyone else, even Vegas, is on your side. But I gotta go with the one wild.
He's a even bigger underdog than he was against Usman.
Yep, he is, and I think it's like plus 500 or plus 540, something like that, which is crazy. But I just think that for him to actually, show out one of his last times, he's gonna need a knockout. I don't think it's gonna go to decision because I think both of these guys are gonna be throwing just a lot of punches, and if it does stay on the ground more, then it might be a submission for sure, like 100%. It might be a submission more likely than not. But I got a feeling about Masvidal. It's one of his last fights. He's got to come out hot in Miami. Come on now, show why you were that kid.
Try to, but I don't think it's gonna be successful.
Yeah, we'll see though. We'll see. Either way, it's gonna be two great fights in the UFC 287. The top two fights, at least the co-main events, or Jorge Masvidal versus Gilbert Burns, and of course we had Israel Adesanya versus Alex Pereira. Second time they're fighting officially in the UFC. So both of those fights are going to be incredible to watch, and I know we're definitely going to be watching those.
Oh yeah, definitely can't wait. Been waiting for this rematch with Izzy and Alex for a while. And honestly, Gilbert Burns has been an exciting fighter the last 2 years. I mean, more than a few years, but he's really shown up the last couple of years. So I think he's going to put on another clinic.
So just to give. My bad. Go ahead.
I'm ready for Jorge Masvidal to get off. He was about to retire before he knocked out Ben Askren, and he's somehow been able to keep himself relevant because of that. I'm ready for him to go off and fight Jake Paul.
Damn, he said go to the WWE and fight there or something. But I mean, either way, I just think that they're going to be exciting fights. I got both of these fights as knockouts, and my predictions for these fights, for the Jorge versus Gilbert fight, I got Jorge winning in the third round in a knockout, and for the Israel Adesanya versus Alex Pereira fight, I got Izzy winning out in a fifth round knockout. What were yours though?
And I got Izzy winning by decision, and Gilbert Burns winning by second round submission.
Nice. But definitely let us know what you guys think, and let us know who you think is going to win these fights. We want to know. It's going to be pretty exciting, and we know that these fights have title, implications. Both of them do actually, because whoever wins that title, either Izzy or Alex Pereira, they're going to have to defend it against a guy like most likely Robert Whittaker, or fight each other. And with these guys, they're definitely going to have a title fight, I think. Masvidal or Burns. Burns has been waiting for a while, so both of these guys are going to have title implications.
He's going to have to wait in line after Darush.
True, he's been waiting for a while. Darush, man, they don't give him a chance. For real, that's true. That's true. So we'll see what happens with him too. But
this is welterweight. It's Bilal Muhammad that they.
Bilal Muhammad. That's who you're thinking of, Muhammad. Yeah, Bilal Muhammad. That's right. He's the one who's been waiting. He's been waiting for a minute. Yes, but still, both of these guys, they talk.
So one of these guys are getting a shot over Bilal. So this gets them closer. And if anyone, I think it only gets Gilbert closer. I don't think it gets Jorge closer to a title shot. Because
I don't know. He's been talking. He said that if he wins this one, he wants that title shot.
They all been saying that.
But Dana loves Jorge Masvidal, so he loves that money. True.
I mean, I'll be honest, the next fight for Jorge, win or lose, is Wonder Boy.
That'd be a good one too.
It would be a good one.
I'm not gonna lie.
That's what I'm saying. That's all he is now, fighting good names. He's the gatekeeper. Gilbert Burns is next for a title shot after Bilal, so they give him Jorge. Go get you a nice little pay-per-view, get you a good name. You next.
We'll see. I still believe in him.
Match, he knew he was losing.
I don't know. I think him taking this fight shows that he's still trying to go for that title shot. He's still trying to go for that title shot, even though he knows it's the end of his career. Because he wouldn't have went for a guy like Burns. That's literally like a killer out there.
He has no choice. They
I
made
get
him
it.
sign the biggest contract, so you got to fight the big names, whether
Gotta
you
fight
want
the
to or
big
not.
names.
We're not giving you the small names.
That's true. That's true. We'll see. We'll see. This Saturday is gonna happen. I know I can't wait. August 8th, Saturday in Miami. Definitely gonna be some great fights. I definitely can't wait for both of them. So definitely let us know who you guys think is gonna win these fights. And also, if you guys are watching, make sure that you click that like button and subscribe to the channel. We love every single one of you guys, and make sure you guys follow us. And if you guys just want to listen to the podcast, you can always just go to Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google, and just type in Who You Got Podcast, or even ask your Alexa speaker, play the Who You Got Podcast. Also, if you guys just want to ask us some questions or just write a topic about us, if you want us to do a topic on here, just go to patreon.com/whoyougot, and then that's where you can sign up to our subscription models and either just give us some general support and then check out our merch on there as well, or you can get everything all at once on our website, right?
Of course, www.whoyougotpodcast.com. Got links to everything you need: blogs, merch, podcasts, so many different platforms, YouTube videos. Pretty much want to make sure you guys stay connected and stay in contact, and we can give you all the quality sports you can get.
That's right. So if you guys just want to listen to some more sports, make sure you guys check us out on our next episode, because we got a lot of more stuff coming for you. UFC, more boxing. We got some more NBA coming up, even NFL draft stuff coming up. So definitely got some stuff for you guys. So we'll keep up with you guys, and you keep up with us on the next episode of Who You Got with
Melo
and Rado. Peace, y'all.
We'll try to have less technical difficulties next time.
We'll be in there next time. Internet plugged in, right?
Yeah.